Hi, my name's Roma and I'm an alcoholic. First of all, I wish everybody a happy Christmas, but I also know that it's probably going to be, if you've just come into recovery, you're probably feeling anxious, how you're going to get through it, because there's drink around everywhere and it's hard. It can be really hard, or drugs, if that's your addiction, whatever it is, we know we can get our hands on it any time, and everybody seems to be celebrating, and we're trying hard to stay clean and sober. I'll tell you a little bit about myself first, just to give you a bit of history. I had everything, and by the end of my drinking and drug using, I'd lost everything. It was mainly drink at the end with me, and I got told I wouldn't see another Christmas, but I didn't care anymore because it was Groundhog Day every day. Um, my last Christmas day, if I'm honest, I can't really remember the actual day. All I remember is my son had been taken out my care years before that, so I didn't see him. My family had walked away. They had to. My mum had had a heart attack over the stress over me. They'd had to make that break because they couldn't see their daughter, sister, friend destroying herself anymore. Um, and I couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop. I hated what I was doing. I didn't want to drink. I drank. The choice had gone. I didn't realise now, but I do now since I've been in recovery. I'd crossed the line and that choice had been taken away from me. And I just remember it being lonely, dark times around the Christmas period, and I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't care if I woke up. I didn't want to wake up in the morning. As far as my head had told me, this was the way my life was going to be forever, and I was never going to be able to change. And I hated myself. I hated myself. I blamed everybody around me. Why they don't want they spend Christmas with me? Why can't I see my little boy on Christmas Day? Who the hell do they think they are? When all they were doing was protecting themselves because they'd had years and years and years of going through pain, of me being nasty, um, and destroying their lives as well as mine, probably destroying their mental health a lot more than mine because they were the one who was witnessing and getting the backlash of everything what was happening. Um, but when I went into treatment in the following July, after being told I would not see the next Christmas, and I didn't care at the time, but I went into a rehab for 6 months. And when I came out in the November, and when I came out, the first Christmas was, I know it sounds daft, but it was pretty easy because I was in that recovery bubble. I stayed in Bournemouth where I went to treatment and I just lived recovery. So that Christmas was quite easy, but there was still in my head, even when I went into treatment, I was thinking, how am I going to go through times like Christmas, birthdays, whatever, sober, not having a drink like everybody else, or not having a line of coke like everybody else. Because even though my drinking and drug using it had destroyed me, I still couldn't imagine life without it. I couldn't imagine having fun without it when, if the truth be told, the fun had long gone years and years before that. But my head can take me back to them fun times when I was raving in a club 30 years ago. Um, but do you know what? That first Christmas was beautiful. It was beautiful, and I got through it. No one really drank around me, but I didn't. I didn't. I did say to people like family, they weren't big drinkers anyway, but I said, please don't not have a glass of wine with your Christmas dinner because of me. They haven't got the problem. I have. But they chose not to, which I'm really grateful for now. But I can be around alcohol today. But the following Christmases, I've got my son back. I think I've had him back. This will be the third Christmas with him this year. He's 11 years old now. And, it's beautiful, but it's hard. But what I do is, and what I tell other people to do, not tell, suggest, I suppose, if you go to fellowship meetings, put everything into your recovery over the Christmas period, even though we should do all the time. But this is the time when we really need to dig deep. We opened our fellowship meeting, what I choose to do, last Christmas night. and it was so beautiful. And there is meetings open all day on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, Boxing Day. You know, there's not going to be anywhere in the UK where there is not a meeting you can go to. And say you do CA and there's not a CA meeting, go to an NA or an AA, or vice versa. You know, it's a meeting to keep you safe. And you know, I'm so blessed to have that unity in my life today, where, you know, where I can pick up the phone and not pick up. If you've got any sort of not craving, if your mind starts obsessing about having a drink over the Christmas period, don't pick up a drink. Pick up the phone. You know, get numbers. Get numbers. They don't have to be in fellowship. Get numbers of support. You know, if you can't leave the house, you've got children, there's 24/7 Zoom meetings. You can go on one in America in the middle of the night. You know, whatever it takes to keep you from picking up that first drink and drug, you know, and that's all what matters. And before you know it, that Christmas period will be over. It will be over, and, you know, you'll think, what was I worrying about? Because at the end of the day, when I was drinking, if your drinking or using was like mine, it didn't matter whether it was Christmas. It didn't matter. It could be Christmas, it could be Easter, it could be raining, it could be sunny. A baby could have been born, somebody could have died. That was an excuse, but at the end there was never an excuse. It was 24/7 I needed to drink. You know, every waking hour I was drinking. If I wasn't drinking, I was having that panic of where I was going to get the next drink from. Even when I've had a few drinks and maybe if I was lucky, some lines of bags of Coke, I would be still panicking when I got that in front of me where the next lot was going to come from. And I haven't got that today. You know, what recovery has given me, you hear all these things, what recovery is like, living a life beyond your wildest dreams. And do you know what I used to think, oh, what are you talking about? And do you know what? I am living a life beyond my wildest dreams because I haven't got that racing head anymore. And my stomach isn't full of fear and anxiety 24/7. You know, I like myself today. I know through the hardest times, you know, I've lost my dad 6 months ago and I've not thought of picking up a drink. What I did was I went and shared on the day he died in a treatment centre, because when we're struggling, whatever time of year it is, and this is one of them, Christmas can be one of them for a lot of people, this is when we have to do everything we can, because we have the choice today. If you've got 24 hours, which is amazing, clean or sober, you have a choice. You have a choice whether you go down the recovery route or you pick up a drink or drug, you know, and that's the way I look at it. I have a choice today. When I was in the thick of it and I didn't know what recovery was, I had no choice. Today I do. And I just feel so blessed, so blessed. And don't get me wrong, it's hard. You know, I've got my son back and it's really, really hard. He's not recovered at all. You know, he lost his mum for a long time. But what I have to do on a daily basis is to do my recovery-based things in the morning, at night, throughout the day, a lot of the time, help others, and I know it's going to be all right. And at Christmas, if you're struggling, pick up the phone to a number you've got, even if it's someone who's got 10 minutes clean time. Pick up the phone and ask them how they are, and I tell you what, that will make you feel so much better, and it will take that mind away of obsessing about picking up, if that's what's going through your mind at the time. You know, just embrace it. Embrace, if you're not with your family, get with your recovery family. Find a recovery family, because I tell you what, you can't go wrong. It's true what they say, stick with the winners. And I promise you, you will have a lovely Christmas. And if you keep doing it, you will have the best 2024 you could ask for. Not always going to go your way. Mine certainly doesn't. But I'm contented and I'm happy with what I've got. I don't want loads of material stuff anymore. It's not about that. It's about me helping the next person, which helps me and makes me a better person. And you'll hear this saying, and I used to hate it, do the right things and the right things will happen. And it's so true. So yeah, Merry Christmas everybody, and a very happy New Year.